Yo, what up? It's the Virgin Islands Bachelor, the VI King in the place. Big up to You Know I Got Soul. Why? Because you know I got soul.
All right, Verse. So, I was reading your bio, read you, began your career as a writer and producer out in LA.
Yeah.
Tell me about your first major placement, as a writer-producer.
My first major placement was actually on an artist called Akon. She was signed to Capitol Records at the time. Me and my partner did pretty much her whole album. And we released it. Her first single was called Zingy, featuring Beanie Man. And we put it out overseas in Japan and did pretty well over there. So
cool.
That was the first actual major placement we got.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then eventually you were discovered by Darkchild, and he helped you get signed to Interscope. What was that whole situation like?
Oh man, it was great, man. Being able to work with Darkchild. I mean, one of the legends in the game, obviously. We had a nice short little run together, and it eventually ended up leaving. I eventually ended up leaving the label, but that's the homie though.
Yeah.
It's great to be able to sit down with somebody that's been in the game for so long and be able to really just learn a lot from them. You know what I'm saying? He's worked with the best that ever did it, from Michael Jackson to Beyonce and everybody in between. So it was great.
I mean, like you mentioned, you left Interscope on good terms. Unfortunately, you didn't get to release an album over there. But at that point, did it take a hit to you as an artist? Like, did you get discouraged?
You know what? No, I didn't get discouraged because at the time they actually released me from Interscope, but I looked at it as a blessing, really, because sometimes you get into a situation and it's not what you exactly expected. It don't work out how you expected it to, and that's just because the chemistry where you're at isn't meant for you. You know what I mean? So I just looked at it like something that was meant to be, meant to happen. Me and my team kept pushing, kept putting out music. From the clubs to the mixtape stuff, and it's been working out real well for me.
Cool. And then eventually you linked up with Akon. How did that all come together?
I've been knowing Akon since like 2003. I met him through his DJ, who's actually one of my close friends. We both from the Virgin Islands, Benny D. And late last year, he actually was like, yo, I want to have you come in and help me work on my album. And we just ended up just really clicking, and he was like, I want to start this whole new regime of Con Live. I want you to be the face of it. Come on board. So we ended up being able to put it together, and now we got distribution through Def Jam. So it's Con Live, Blue Vision, Def Jam. Yeah.
Cool. And earlier this year you released the mixtape, Sex Tape Chronicles Part 2.
Yeah.
What's the reaction been to it?
Man, the reaction to the mixtape been so great. It's really been more than I expected. Really, when you kind of like a new artist and you put out music, you don't know how the people are going to take to it. And I think the response from it has been really, really great. The single that I have out now featuring Kelly Rowland is actually one of the records that was able to really come from that mixtape and be as successful as it's becoming right now. It just made the countdown on 106. Yeah. So I'm really happy about it.
Cool. And just finally, what can we expect next from you?
Oh man, I got another mixtape that I'm gonna put out before the album, sometime mid next year, and a few other singles that I'm gonna put out. So you can just be expecting a lot more great music, and that's what I'm looking forward to giving.
Great. Cool. Anything you'd like to add?
Man, make sure you look out for the Juggernauts. You already know. Follow me on Twitter @VerseSimmonds. Other than that, man, Sex Tape Chronicles 2 is online. VerseSimmonds.com @VerseSimmonds. Make sure you get it.